Day 4 from Newport is underway. We have 3 matches already going on. Today we have an interview with Andy Katz, the college basketball guy for Twitter, but he also is a passionate tennis fan and even covers NCAA tennis as well. So we got to talk to him about his transition and what it's like to see that transition within younger players and older players as well. So stay tuned for that, and let's just get straight into the action. Day 4 here from Newport. Here we go. So I'm here with Andy Katz. I think the first thing is, how'd you get into tennis after being known as the basketball guy?
So outside of basketball, it's always been my second passion.
Really?
And so I grew up in the Boston area.
Okay.
And I'm dating myself, but I used to go to there used to be a pro tournament at Longwood.
Yeah.
And so I went for many years seeing Lendl, Vielander, Agassi early on. And sort of that's where I got the bug. Wish I would have continued playing, but I didn't. And then obviously, as a professional, got into basketball, and then as things have transitioned, now working with the NCAA as well. In addition to my main job covering college basketball, I wanted to dive more into tennis. And so I volunteered to cover the NCAA championships down in Orlando. And I've been doing a lot with college tennis.
Awesome.
And I live here in the summer.
Fantastic.
So
it helps.
We're members here of the Hall of Fame. And so that's where my love is.
And how would you compare a sport like basketball to tennis? What do you see the biggest differences is between a professional player and a college player?
Well, it's interesting. I'm learning more and more about college tennis and seeing the benefits for a lot of the college players, and talking to them last year here and how much they have benefited by going to college. And Steve Johnson is a great example of that. There's so many expenses with professional players that when you go to college, you always have a base. Steve Johnson can always go to USC and work out. There's always going to be someone there for him to hit with. And you're going to have a fan base around the globe, USC people, and that's something you can't take away. You can't take away, being an NCAA champion. It's not for everyone, but for those that went that path, I have heard nothing negative. My son's also a member here. He's super into tennis, and so he's pushed me even more because of his knowledge of the game. He loves it, so it's something we really share. Two of us, we go to the U.S. Open all the time and other tournaments, so it's been great with the two of us too.
And so you're talking about them having a reference after they go pro, after they go to college, correct?
Yes, I mean I think that it's a connection. The college player who then becomes a pro, they have that connection with their university that's never going to go away. And I also think the team aspect is something they don't get at all.
Do you think it helps more when they play it in college to transition to the pros?
Yes. I think also they're ready to handle all the off-court stuff, because there's a lot to do with it. The business side of it, how you manage people, how you deal with other people. When you become a pro, you've got to have everyone on your own. They're under your salary structure, if you will. And you got to get your own personal workout, your own coach, lodging, all these things that I think the general public doesn't think that a pro player has to deal with. And if you've gone to college and dealt with basically, a university set up in an athletic department, you see, okay, there's a trainer, there's a nutritionist, there's how we handle travel. You can learn while you're a college tennis player what you may need to do on the pro tour.
And when we talk about college sports, there's always that opportunity, especially in basketball when first started out of high school, they didn't originally go to college, they went straight to the pros.
Well, and so to your point about comparing the two, what I've seen is that so often players can be drafted. Okay, so you could maybe be a pro, but are you ready to contribute? Are you ready to play? Are you ready to deal with it? And a lot of these young people aren't. They're drafted on potential, and so you could argue there's a lot of tennis players who they may say, oh yeah, I could see that player, as a pro, but is that player ready to actually play, win, deal with losing, deal with adversity? These are all basic skills that if you're too young to handle it, you may not be able to be ready to handle those kinds of adverse situations, whether it's losing on the court, whether it's the fact that you didn't get into a certain tournament, or your coach and you are at odds. How do you handle these situations? And the younger you are, the less experience you have, the least likely you'll be ready to deal with that.
So what do you think of Coco Gauff, who just at 15 years old, I feel like you are so mentally prepared and you play tournaments, but when you have that much momentum in being in the big world, what do you think about her and having that transition?
Well, I'm just looking from afar here.
Yeah.
And I think there are outliers in everything.
Okay.
LeBron's an outlier. I'm not comparing Coco Gauff to LeBron.
Of course.
But, there's always going to be at least some exceptions.
Yeah.
And I would say she looks like she's more the exception than the rule.
Okay.
And, clearly her parents look grounded. She's being homeschooled in some form or fashion. But that's not the norm. That's not for everybody. And, I think you have to, as a parent, you have to obviously say, okay, what's right for my child? How am I going to prepare them for the real world?
Of course.
And not everyone is at that stage. Just like, players like LeBron or Dwight Howard, when he came out, they were physically ready.
Yeah.
I mean, they looked like men, not like young boys. So, I mean, they were ready for the physicality of being a professional athlete. Not everyone is.
Yeah. Do you think there's someone in college like that that's ready to step up into the pro world, do you think?
It's hard.
Yeah.
And definitely watching the NCAAs, there was, there's definitely talent moving up. J.J. Wolf at Ohio State.
Yeah, absolutely. Great talent.
We'll see if he can make that transition. There was definitely some, female players that were ready to maybe make that jump. And we see, look, Danielle Collins is a great example of that.
Exactly. Virginia.
She went to Virginia, and now she's having success. A little bit older than, some of these players, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Different stage of life and different stage of her professional career.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Andy.
All right, thanks. Good luck.
GC on the track, boy.
So I hope you guys enjoyed day 4 here from Newport, Rhode Island. I had a really fun conversation with Andy Katz. Let me know what you guys want as well from here in Rhode Island. We have 2 more interviews coming out this week, so stay tuned. One is with Bublik, the other is with Lindstedt, who just became a finalist at Wimbledon for mixed doubles with Yelena Ostapenko. If you guys do enjoy this content, make sure you hit a big like on this video, as well as making sure you're subscribed to Tweener Tennis so you don't miss any of the action that's happening this week, as well as checking out our social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, as well as our website at tweenerheadtennis.com. I hope to see you guys soon. Thanks, guys.